Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. It's Dr. Messina Morris, and I have not gone live on my LinkedIn, my YouTube, or my Instagram in quite some time, but I am here to do a live session of Holotutor AI. Now, a lot of people know that I work with the future of technology, how it's integrated into education, and I transform educational ecosystems for the betterment of the student. My primary goal is to make sure that our scholars are ready for the future, whatever that future may be for them. And I'm really passionate about it. Like, it's the thing that keeps me awake at night. It's the thing that I wake up early to make sure that I am on top of. I am excited at all times to bring forth the joy that can be. And in the mirror, I hope that what I have instilled in them allows them to see themselves as people they hoped they would be. And that is primarily my goal, because when I look in the mirror and I think about all of the people whose shoulders I stand on, I think about who I hoped I would be. And that makes me very proud, but it's also a responsibility. So, one of the tools that has not been talked heavily about, now, this Holotutor or this AI tool is used in classrooms at Morehouse College, where I'm the director of metaverse programs, but I also use it in my business as a consultant to help teachers connect their students to the curriculum in their classroom. Now, Holotutor AI was built for teachers, with teachers, and it is really important that you understand all of the capabilities of the application. So I'm going to just go on there live. I don't know what the new updates are, so you're going to be seeing them live with me. My screen. Earlier today, I was actually on Latimer.ai. And so this is a shameless plug to John Passmore for Black AI Think Tank Week. Thank you so much for the free subscription for 6 months. So if you sign up for the Black AI Think Tank with Stefan, Stefan, Youngblood, you will be able to get a 6-month free subscription to Latimer.ai. So that is my commercial for the day. Now, let me take you to my live that I am going to do today. So I'm navigating over to Holotutor. Allow while visiting the site. This is my favorite. Oh, wow. Okay, so we do have updates. They're on version 2 of their Creator Studio, which I'm going to introduce you to today. There are tutoring sequences, now more guided and structured, and responses follow a step-by-step flow. Cool. And other user settings have been updated. You can choose between 2D and 3D display modes. So by 2D and 3D display modes means that you can actually see the entire environment in 3D, or you can just see it in 2D, like you can see it on your computer. And there are speech improvements, so a wider range of voices and accents and styles. And this is update 1.8. Actually, I knew about this update. This is April's update. So you sign in to your account. And I'm going to sign in. So I just navigated to holotutor.ai. I signed in. And this is the interface that it is going to take me to. And there's several different areas on how, like, it's just not one thing. It's for the students, it's for the teachers to be able to create lessons, it's for students to be able to create certain presentations on topics that they may be interested in learning more about. It's for educators also to connect their students to the curriculum in their classroom. So it has many different uses, and I'm going to go through every single one of them. The thing that I like the most about using this is not only can you create your own lessons, but you can also upload content that you have downloaded or that you have PowerPoints of, and it will create you your own lesson based on your content. So one of the biggest things about tutoring that people fail to think about is tutoring alone does not work the way people think it does. When I ran my Molder of Minds Learning Academy, I refused to tutor to the content that the teachers were teaching in their classroom solely unless I had full access to everything that that student learned. And that is very challenging because you are relying on a student who does not understand what they're learning to tell you what they're learning. And that's where it all goes bad, right? So usually we are waiting on students who don't already understand what's going on to explain to us what's going on in a classroom where they don't know what's going on. So the best thing that a teacher could do is be able to create the spaces and the content that directly connects to the curriculum that's in their classroom at the pace in which the student is learning in their classroom and provide it for them 24/7, and it's personalized. So that is what I wanted to say. Now, let's go back to Holotutor. You can go to create and you will create your own AI experience. Now, during the Moral AI conference at Morehouse College, I was able to badge people in creating their own AI experience using a peer review rubric. Okay, so you can create your own lesson or scenario. So a conversational scenario. Say you want to interview someone from another time period and you want to create that person, or say you have a particular patient type that you want students to explore in your class. If you're a psychology professor, or if you are an educator even, you can have scenarios where you can go back and forth in this conversational scenario with an avatar. Okay, but this is what I like about the AI experience now is you can just tell it to create you a lesson on a particular thing. So I'm going to say create an intro lesson on addition. I'm just going to say on addition. I'm not going to give it anything. Now, what it's going to do is start compiling information that it's going to want to ask me so that I can give it more information to put parameters on what I'm wanting it to know. So what grade level or age range is this for? And do you want to focus on basic single digit addition, only like 2 plus 3, or also simple word problems and number lines? So for me, I want to focus on basic single digit addition for second graders. This lesson is for second graders, and I want to focus on single digit addition of numbers 0 to 5. And so now it has more information. It's going to create a lesson targeted towards a second grade student, where it will have examples and narration and everything that is more singularly focused on this. Now, you can give it more information. If I would have had a worksheet, for instance, about single digit addition that I used in my classroom, I could also upload that and have it build the lesson structure around that. If I have time, I'll do that because, well, I always have time. I like to do this. But I just want to show you how simple it can be. It doesn't have to be hard, right? Okay, so now it's already built you your lesson. It's giving you the speech component. So each node, speech, text, image, video, true or false questions, multiple choice questions, 3D object, or you can clear the whiteboard or pause it. Those nodes that are down here at the bottom tells you what happens during the experience. So the speech is when your avatar is talking. The text is what's happening on the whiteboard behind you. The true false questions, formative assessments along the way to check for understanding. Obviously, you can change and edit any of the speech that you see, right? There's multiple choice questions that have been added in. You can also add in images, video of you even talking. I think that is so cool. And it'll generate images. So it's still downloading the lesson. Okay. And then here's the scene. So we got Miss Carter. She's a warm, encouraging second grade teacher who speaks clearly, uses simple language, gives lots of reassuring feedback. I actually like Miss Carter. One of my second grade teachers' name was actually Miss Carter. She was a reading specialist at my school. So I'm gonna go with Miss Carter. Okay. I actually like the way Miss Carter looks, but I could also choose a more professional avatar. But she's a second grade teacher, so I really like the playful look of my avatar. So I'm gonna actually go back to the other Miss Carter, because that Miss Carter looked fun. So we got Miss Carter. Now we can check. So right now they have this mysterious and emotive voice for Arabella. Let's see what that sounds like.
She tore her gaze away from her ruined footwear, still very much grieving the loss, and set herself to the task of finding a dry place to stand.
Let's try that.
Before we move forward, quick check. Does everyone understand why this formula gives a different result when the values are negative? Let's test it.
Let's see. Josh is a teacher for kids, but he's not a female teacher. So let's try Rayla.
Hi, I'm Teacher Rayla. Special, unique, and precious. Empowered to be responsible. Let's learn, grow, and shine together. You are super too.
I like her, but her voice is definitely made for kids. So we're going to keep her. And then you go to publish. So you can keep your visibility private until you have actually finished and created your lesson in a way that you would like. You can put it at the level of your organization. So all Morehouse College has a collection of their own lessons for each class that are compiled, and you can keep your organization together. Or you can make it public where it will be published in the VXR Lab AI catalog, right? So then all users will be able to view it as well as play it. Now it's set at second grade for mathematics in the categories addition and subtraction. They've generated a very nice, cute little thumbnail for me. If I don't like it, I could regenerate another one. So the description tells me that this is an intro lesson on single digit addition with numbers 0 through 5 for second graders. And then it gives instructions. In this lesson, your virtual teacher will introduce addition with numbers 0 through 5. The teacher will use simple examples, number stories, and quick check-in questions to help you practice. Encourage students to say answers out loud, use fingers or counters if helpful, and pause after questions to let them think. All the instructions are there. Let's go back to our builder and see. So we don't have a picture here that's showing up. So let's generate one. They actually have the illustration there. Let's see if it'll generate that out. Maybe it's just taking a while. And let's go down and check. So it has a counting on strategy. I'm just checking for grammatical errors or anything. Just doing kind of like a once over so I can see what the lesson looks like, how many multiple choice questions, how many images are in it, what's going on with the speech. Let's see if it generated my picture up here. It did. Okay. And let it generate this one too. And so we'll give that time to generate. So it did generate the picture. And so then the speech complements the picture that it generated. Vice versa. Okay, awesome. So now it's auto-saveable, but you can actually press save. You always want to make sure you save everything, and then you can play your lesson. Your title is also here, adding numbers 0 to 5. But if you wanted to change it to something more playful, you could do that too. And so here we go. We have our thumbnail, and we can play our lesson. And it was created 6 minutes ago, so it did not take me long. It would have taken less time had I not also been explaining to you every nook and cranny of how it goes. All right, so now we have Miss Carter, this right here, and we're going to continue our lesson. It gives you the instructions. You can add closed
Welcome.
captioning.
Today we are going to learn and practice addition with small numbers from 0 to 5. Addition means putting groups together to find out how many there are in all. We will take our time, use simple examples, and you can even use your fingers or pretend counters to help you. If something feels tricky, that is okay. Learning math is like exercising your brain, and it gets easier with practice. Get ready to listen, to think, and to try some problems with me. Look at the word addition. Addition means we start with some objects, then we add more, and we want to know how many there are in all. For example, if you have 2 apples and your friend gives you 1 more apple, you put those groups together to see how many apples you have now. When we do addition today, we will only use the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so the totals will stay small and friendly. As we work,
So you can ask questions as well. You can type into the chat. You can interrupt at any time. Obviously, she stopped her lesson, and you can resume it back at any time. So let's speak a question. But I don't know how to count. But I don't know how to count at all. Can I still do addition?
absolutely, you can learn addition. We'll start with counting together. Let's try counting to 5 with our fingers. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job. Once you feel comfortable with counting, we can start adding small numbers together. Remember, I'm here to help you every step of the way. Keep up the great work.
This is kind of boring. Can we go to recess?
Recess is lots of fun, but learning can be fun too. Let's try a little game with addition first. We can pretend we have some apples. If you have 2 apples and I give you 1 more, how many apples do you have? After we solve a few, we'll talk more about our plans for recess. You've got this.
So it will definitely make sure that it redirects a student that might be off task, off focus, wants to talk about something else, or is just bored. So it'll always affirm them and bring them back to the lesson at hand. So
You
you
can
can
picture
resume the lesson.
objects in your mind, like apples or blocks,
You can
to
also
help you
go
see the
forward
groups
if you
being
need
joined
to, or
together.
go back if you need to. So it's asking a question. So now you have this check for understanding that happens alongside the lesson. Addition is about putting groups together to find how many in all. Yes, or well, true or false. And so, true.
Addition really is about putting groups together. When you hear an addition problem, you can always think, what is the first group? What is the second group? And how many are there when I join them? If you remember that idea, it will help you both with number sentences, like 2 plus 3, and with little math stories, like having some crayons and getting a few more. So yes, addition is all about finding how many in all when groups are joined.
So it
Before
reinforces
we add,
also.
let us make sure we feel good about the numbers we are using. The number 0 means none, or nothing there at all. Means 2 things, like 2 shoes. Then we have 3, 4, and 5, which are still small and easy to count on our fingers or with little objects. Because we are only using numbers from 0 to 5, you can always count with your fingers if you need to, and that is a smart strategy when you are learning.
Which number means there are no objects at all. So if I say 1, it's going to tell me that's not right. If I say 5, it's also going to tell me it's not right until I get to the right answer.
The number that means there are no objects at all is 0. When you see 0 in an addition problem, it shows that you are not adding any new things in that part. For example, 3 plus 0 means you start with 3 things and you do not add any more, so the total stays 3. Remember, 0 is like having an empty plate or an empty hand. Nothing has been added there yet. When you see an addition problem written with numbers, like 2 plus 3, it usually looks like 2, then a plus sign, then 3. We read 2 plus.
So another thing that you can see is that it has a transcript. And so everything that I asked already or interrupted and asked has been recorded. Now, this is from the student's vantage point, and they would have to download it as a text file in order to be able to take it with them to their teacher. But you can actually see what has been asked and what the answers are. So students can then download it and take a copy of it and continue all the questions that they ask. They just have to be able to download their transcript. So they can ask as many questions as they want to, have it repeat something over and over again, go back and forth, and students don't really know what they don't know, and they don't necessarily know what to ask. So within a lesson in a classroom where there are 40 plus more students around and one teacher to answer all the questions, the shy students or the students who are uncertain won't ask a question at all. And that puts them at an unfair advantage because sometimes they have pertinent questions that just don't get answered. But with Holotutor, they're able to ask those questions and get them answered in real time. And so it doesn't matter what time of day, it can be at night. So this is kind of like the problem that Homework Helpline, I don't know if you all remember, but I'm dating myself, tried to solve. So with Homework Helpline, you would have a teacher on the other end that would answer questions after school, and you just dial 1-800-HELP, or whatever the case may be. But you had teachers that didn't always understand what your curriculum was in your school. And so they tried to find things that they could help you with the concept of what you were dealing with. But a lot of time it was frustrating. Trust me, I know, because I was a kid that did homework every single day and never, ever, ever, ever did not do homework. So I used Homework Helpline. And it was frustrating sometimes because sometimes the teacher couldn't help you because they couldn't see the worksheet that you had, or they couldn't see the book page, or they didn't have that particular book or that edition, or they weren't a math teacher, they were actually English. So they couldn't really help you in the way that you needed to be helped. They could only try to give you resources to help you think through it, which is helpful, but not really. It doesn't really do anything but increase the frustration factor and then make students kind of give up. But with this, at least if you're asking questions, even if it's questions like this child did not know how to count, and so it went back through what counting is and how to count from 1 to at least 5. So it's closing some gaps in learning that otherwise would not be closed, because that might not be a question that this child wants to ask out loud amongst the second grade classroom, right? So this gives a certain level of comfort to that particular student and to their parent, and it closes those learning gaps that you don't even know exist, because they are comfortable with then asking questions. And over time, they get really good at having the back and forth conversation and banter with the avatar itself, getting the information that it needs to be successful in the class. So this is the lesson, and I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to stop sharing right now this particular screen, and I want to talk to you just a little bit more about how you can add your own resources to Holotutor. So if I were to go and just pull a worksheet on addition, a single, I'm gonna let y'all see what I'm doing. Let me go to share my screen again. And this new tab. So addition of single, see, I can't spell, single digit numbers, 0 to 5. Let's say it's a worksheet. And I say PDF, so I can try to see if I can pull something. All right, so they have these math drill worksheets here. You see image worksheets here. And so let's just see if I can download a worksheet. I want single digit. That's multi-digit. No. Let's do this. This is what I'm looking for. Something like this. 10 going into 5, but that's okay. So we'll just download. So we have this addition to 10, right? You see, and I want to sign into Adobe, but I'm gonna have to. Okay. Sign me in. Sign me in. All right, so now I have my worksheet, right? So now I can download my worksheet, download this file, addition 10 worksheet 1. Okay, save it. Now we can go back over to our Holotutor experience, and let's start sharing this tab instead. So I'm going to back out of this one. It's already saved. Okay, so like if I go to my AI lessons, I can already find my addition. These are all the ones I've actually created, y'all. But let's see if I can find my addition. The one that I just did. adding number 0 to 5, right? So it's right there. Okay, great. So now let's do a new AI lesson. And since this worksheet goes to 10, we're going to create a lesson on addition and then I'm going to attach the addition worksheet. All right, so create a lesson on addition. And so it's still going to ask me some questions, but I gave it a worksheet. So it already has some information to pull from that kind of gives it an idea of the type of lesson that I want. Make sure I'm still live with y'all. Great. Okay. So it's almost there. It's finishing the lesson. All right. So my lesson on addition to 10, and see, it already recognized that it was addition to 10 based on the worksheet that I gave it. So I didn't have to go and say, I want it to be for this particular group. It's already deciphering that from the information that I gave it. So let's go on to continue the experience. All right. So welcome to addition to 10. And it tells us all of the things that we need. It gives text. And remember, it gives the speech, which is what the avatar is going to say, the true false questions. And it's even generated from the worksheet. Generated from the worksheet. Look at this. This is from the worksheet. This is from the worksheet. Let me show you the worksheet again. This is from the worksheet. See, 5 plus 2 equals bam. This is from the worksheet. So the picture that it generated is from the worksheet. So let's go back to share this tab. See, it's from the worksheet. 5 plus 2 equals 7. Bam. All right. So now Cameron, come close my door. And turn that down. That is rude. Okay, so now you have all your speech, multiple choice question. You have more addition. Let's see. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Let's see if that's also on the sheet. It's on the sheet. So it's connecting the student to the curriculum. No, this is not cheating. It's going to explain the problem that the student has with addition to the student. Okay, so it even goes so far as to talk about doubles, to talk about adding 0, and gives them more practice from the worksheet. Okay. Awesome sauce. Now you can go to your scene. We got Miss Rivera this time, same young lady. We're going to make it Miss Carter because Miss Carter is the one that's doing all the addition. I forgot her voice though. She was a young, clear, no. Teacher Rayla?
Hi,
Yep.
I'm
Use Teacher
Teacher
Rayla.
Rayla.
All right.
Special,
So
unique,
we're
and
gonna use Teacher
precious.
Rayla,
Empowered to
and then we're gonna go and look at the picture. Let's see. I don't like this picture for the thumbnail. Let's see. So we're gonna create an image of how 7 plus 3 is calculated to equal 10 using groups of space aliens. I don't know, kids like space aliens, right? It's futuristic. Let's see what it does. So, yeah, that's cute. Okay, but I don't like it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not the right addition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so no. So we don't like this one either. We like 7 plus 3 equals 10, but it still didn't do. Let's see how 7 plus 3 is calculated to equal 10 using groups of space aliens. Make it correct by having 7 space aliens, then adding 3 space aliens to make a total of 10 space aliens. Now you're still prompting, you still have to go into detail. So let's see if it'll generate it based on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 1, 2, 3. It did give 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we don't like that. So it obviously does not know how to count. So what we're going to do is say create an image that says addition to 10 for first grade. All right, 6, 4, 6 plus 4 equals 10. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have no idea what this is. I don't like this image. I'm going to regenerate. Create an image of a teacher doing addition. Now you can also put your own picture up here, but I really wanted to generate a thumbnail for me. That works. So first grade mathematics, addition, subtraction. It tells you this is an introductory math lesson on addition facts to 10 based on the addition to 10 worksheet. So it already gives you that. And it tells you what you're going to get practice on. So great. So we're going to save this and then play this. All right. So this is the lesson. This is the thumbnail. All right. So addition to 10, building strong addition facts. Continue.
welcome. Today, we are going to practice addition facts where the answers are 10 or less. Addition means putting groups together to find out how many there are in all. We will look at number sentences like 5 plus 2 and 3 plus 4, just like the ones you might see on a worksheet. I will show you helpful ways to think about these problems, such as using your fingers, counting on, and using pictures in your mind.
Can you help me count to 10? I'm not really sure of all the numbers. Oh, can you help me count to 10? I'm not really sure of all the numbers.
Of course. Let's count together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. Keep practicing, and soon you'll know them by heart. You're doing fantastic. As we go, I will ask you questions so you can try some on your own, and I will help you understand how to find each answer step by step. Let us talk about what addition really means. When you add, you are putting groups together to make a bigger group.
I'm I'm only 6, and this is a lot of big words. Can you make it more simple? I'm only 6, and these are a lot of big words. Can you make it more simple?
Absolutely. Let's count slowly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're doing great. Let's try it again whenever you feel ready. Keep up the good work.
Can we count again?
Sure thing. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice work. You're doing an awesome job. Let's practice anytime you want.
So the thing about this is I just ask the same question over and over again. A lot of times teachers will get frustrated because students need to ask the same question over and over again for reinforcement. She didn't get upset. She didn't change her mood. She continued to tell you that you're doing a great job. So reinforcing that self-esteem that you're going to finally get it. You're going to get it on your own.
The plus sign, which looks like a little cross, tells us to add the numbers on each side of it. For example, if you have 5 apples and then you get 2 more apples, you can write this as 5 plus 2. When you put the apples together and count them all, you get 7 apples. So we can write 5 plus 2 equals 7. Anytime you hear someone ask, how many in all, they are asking you to do addition.
So true or false. In addition, we put groups together to find how many in all. So say I get it wrong, I have to pick true. So now I know
That idea is true.
that
Addition is all about joining groups and finding how many you have altogether. When you see a plus sign between two numbers, it is a signal that you should combine them. Just like combining two small piles of blocks in.
So just like before, you got the transcript of the counting that students can download and keep for themselves. So if that student's parent saw over and over again that they were struggling with this, they know that this is something that they need to reinforce. If the teacher sees that they're asking this question over and over again, maybe it's something that they need to reinforce in their own personalized time of study. So this is what's really important and really good about this is that you get to see what's in the mind of the student without having to monitor that with 40 other children in the classroom or make them feel like they don't know a particular thing because they have to ask a question over and over again. So as you saw, we uploaded our own worksheet and it allowed us to create this lesson. So it didn't take much time to be able to do that. And it connected it directly to the curriculum in that classroom based on this worksheet right here. So now students will have the tools to be able to go through this worksheet and actually complete it after completing this lesson on their own independently. And if they don't, they can come back and ask the Holotutor any question. So I've never tried this before, but I'm curious to know if it will do this because we always talk about it. I don't know what 5 plus 5 is, and I don't know how to figure it out. Can you help me with that? Did I lose my Holotutor? No.
Of course! Let's figure it out together. If you have 5 fingers on one hand and 5 fingers on the other hand, you can count them all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 5 plus 5 is 10. You did a great job.
So it did give an example to help the student find the answer and didn't just give the student the answer to the question.
That idea is true. Addition is all about joining groups and finding how many you have altogether.
Like I said, you
When
can
you plus 1
forward.
is
So like
2,
if you need to
2
go
plus 2 is
one
4,
particular
and 3
part of
plus
the
3
lesson, or
plus
you need to
5
go
can
back to
all be
something
solved by
else,
counting
you
on.
can also do that.
For 5 plus 2,
This is just an 8-minute lesson, which is really easy for reinforcement, for tutoring, for students to understand, and then be able to solve the homework that was given to them. So that is a true example of how Holotutor can help students. I know that was really, really a simple one, but it goes all the way up through the graduate level and can get as deep as we want it to get. I have created many, many lessons on different things and different topics. So I'll show you the library, which I showed earlier. Let's see. So we're going to go back out of our AI experience. These are all of the lessons that have been created. You can also create courses. So these are all the courses that have been created. You see, I have a Holotutor Academy, the basics of the metaverse. Let's see. College level chemistry, emerging technologies for kids. It's college level chemistry. It has everything from chemical foundations, atoms, molecules, and ions, all the way through acid-base equilibrium with Dr. Messina Morris. So I use all of the slides that I used to use when I was teaching chemistry to develop these lessons for students. A lot of times people do ask me about chemistry, and they do ask me even about the metaverse. So like if I go to my AI lessons, you can see all of the things that I've created. You can click on my name and see all of the things that I've created. You can also see my bio about me in the experience. But these are all the lessons I've created. But like if you go to like the basics of the metaverse, you'll see this by Dr. M.O.M, and then it'll go to my creator bio. So it'll tell you everything about me, and it'll tell you about the lessons that I have that are public, and then all the courses that I have that are public as well. So like then you can go to something like emerging technologies for kids and see that I've talked about the metaverse, Gen AI, crypto, supercomputers, GPUs, quantum computing, the Internet of Things, AI, extended reality technology, biotechnology in the human body, coding, data science, digital worlds, actually creating 3D spaces, digital citizenship and cybersecurity, blockchain, career pathways, and then robotics. So all of these are available on Holotutor AI, and they're public, and you can use them and get understanding about any particular thing. And like I said, the whole first semester of college level chemistry is up as well. So you never have to worry, and for little or nothing, you can get a subscription from Victory XR. But if I were you, I would definitely reach out. Another thing that teachers can do is have their textbooks here. So say I have like a PDF of a particular paper or something that I want to actually use. Like this is a technical report by when the technical report for GPT-4 was out. So like I uploaded that PDF and say, all right, so this technical report is here. You have Robin, your textbook assistant, and I wanted to summarize. Actually, so I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna go here to the abstract, right? And I'm gonna highlight my abstract. And then I'm going to ask it to summarize. So you can choose the language: Bengali, Chinese, Dutch, English, French, German, Hindi, Italian, Hebrew, Japanese, Korean, Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, Spanish, Swahili, Turkish, Vietnamese, or Arabic to explain, summarize, define, read, or you can copy and make a note out of it or highlight it, okay? But I'm going to use English, and I'm going to have her to summarize the abstract for me.
The development of GPT-4, a large multimodal model, is reported. It processes image and text inputs to produce text outputs. Although not as capable as humans in all scenarios, GPT-4 performs at a human level on many benchmarks, such as the bar exam. It uses transformer-based architecture and optimized training methods to enhance performance. Predictability.
So it will also read exactly word for word this particular.
We report the development of GPT-4, a large-scale multimodal model which can accept image and text inputs and produce text.
So it can read your PDF to you, and then it gives you suggested prompts. So how does GPT-4's performance compare to GPT-3? Because it has the entire paper in here. So it's gone through the paper.
GPT-4 significantly outperforms GPT-3 in various benchmarks. For instance, GPT-4 scores in the top 10% on a simulated bar exam, while GPT-3 scores in the bottom 10%. Overall, GPT-4 shows enhanced capabilities in understanding and generating complex and nuanced language.
So I love this because you could actually upload a technical report or technical papers, especially as a chemist or a scientist, peer-reviewed papers that you want, or journal articles or reviews or anything that you want students to really be able to dissect, and get them to read the papers because it'll explain it for them. It'll summarize it for it. It'll define words that are difficult for them to understand and give them the help. And they can ask Robin, the textbook assistant, questions just like you could ask the avatar before that about it. Okay. So like I could say, what does GPT mean? Maybe that's something the student doesn't want to ask.
GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's a type of AI model designed for understanding and generating human-like text.
Okay.
LLM stands for Large Language Model. These models are designed to process and generate human-like text based on large-scale datasets. They are capable of various language-related tasks, such as translation, summarization, and answering questions. LLMs learn or dialects by training on diverse and extensive data sets that include examples of those languages. They use patterns in the text to understand linguistic structures and vocabulary. Exposure to varied contexts helps them grasp nuances and variations in language and dialect use.
So I said, who trains these LLMs?
Large language models are typically trained by research organizations and tech companies, such as OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft. These entities have for the extensive computational requirements and large data sets necessary for training LLMs.
And that's language model.
Training a large language model can take weeks to months, depending on factors like model size, computational resources, and dataset complexity.
So you can see how I can ask it any kind of question that I'm thinking of and questions that may in this particular paper as well. And so like you can go through and then I can look at any part of this and ask it to give me more information, et cetera, right? So even this figure, I can have it explain what this figure is saying. So let's go back. That's textbooks. Another thing that I did not show you was in the very beginning when you get to Holotutor, just Holotutor for their own personal use, and they're trying to study for a particular examination, then and they have some kind of material that they are studying. So let's go look for something that your student could possibly be studying. So let's say that you have a biology student and they are studying about glucose. So biology lesson on glucose for high school students. So let's see if we can find us a PDF or some kind of worksheet that we can look at. Let's see. Blood glucose system and earth systems. Let's see. Of course, you're going to check to see if I'm a bot. All right. So here is a bio-interactive lesson, and this is educator materials. Let's see. This is a lot of information. That's kind of dense. Let me see if I can find just one lesson. Here we go. One lesson about glucose. Okay, great. So we'll download this. It's an interactive lab about glucose. Say the student has gotten this and they're supposed to come up with their own information about what they learned or what they need to know. So they would go in and go here and add that. And this is for a high school student. And they can ask their tutor to generate a quiz or some flashcards to help them understand this particular document. So let's generate a practice quiz about glucose for biology. And so It also has that PDF that's already there, and it'll go through that PDF as well to help generate a practice quiz.
Sounds great. I'll get a quiz prepared for you. It will be ready in just a moment.
All right. So, glucose is a product of which biological process? Glucose is stored in plants in the form of starch. What is the primary function of glucose in the human body? I don't know. Cell structure? Oh, no. Energy source. Okay, great. So it's going to give them the wrong answer and the right answer and help them figure this out. What enzyme breaks down glucose during glycolysis? It's not lipase, but let's say I put lipase. Okay. Caseinase. No, it's not caseinase. Okay. Amylase. No, it's not amylase. Okay. Hexokinase. Okay. So it'll now you like, okay, what is hexokinase? Because I ain't know nothing about that, right? And you can ask your tutor right in the middle of going through your practice quiz about hexokinase. And you could ask the question.
Hexokinase is an enzyme that catalyzes the first step in the glycolysis process, converting glucose into glucose 6-phosphate. This reaction involves the phosphorylation of glucose using ATP. Hexokinase is crucial for regulating glucose uptake in cells.
Okay, so if I wanted it to generate me some kind of quiz or flashcards just to understand hexokinase, I could do that. I could go and I could click more about hexokinase and have it explain more, or the glycolysis process, or what glucose 6-phosphate is, phosphorylation, ATP. So anything that I did not understand about what they say, I can click on it and it'll give me any information about it. So students can continue to learn and continue to grow and continue to understand what they didn't quite understand from before.
Creating a visual layout to help explain this. It will be ready in just a moment.
And so it's going to create a visual layout that's going to help you understand what a hexokinase is and the catalyzation of it as part of the glycolysis process.
Hexokinase is a critical enzyme in cellular energy metabolism. It catalyzes the phosphorylation of glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, G6P, representing the first essentially irreversible step of glycolysis. This reaction consumes ATP and serves to trap glucose inside the cell, committing it to metabolic pathways like glycolysis and the pentose phosphate pathway. In mammals, 4 distinct isozymes, hexokinase Y, status 3, and V, also known as glucokinase, differ in their kinetics, tissue distribution, and regulation. I, 2, and 3 have high affinity for glucose and are feedback inhibited by G6P, while IV, glucokinase, has low affinity and is regulated by a glucokinase regulatory protein in response to glucose levels.
So you can continue to go down a rabbit hole with him in this first step of glycolysis, or you can go back to your quiz that you were working on and answer these questions. You can also save this quiz into your library and add it to your library so that you could always go back to it. Now you've made it public, but it could also be private. So that is one way that you can, as a student, no matter what level, have it teach you something that you don't know about, and you can have conversation back and forth until you do understand it and continue to ask questions. And this is very different from just having a chat bot. You're actually able to go back and forth and have a conversation, get layouts and generalized information, create quizzes or flashcards or even images of things that you might need explained. So That was a very, very long introduction, but there are so many wonderful aspects of Holotutor AI. I didn't want to leave anything out. So that is a very thorough briefing of Holotutor AI. I hope that you truly enjoyed it, or that you take the time to go back and find places where you can see yourself utilizing this. And when you do, say, I learned it from Dr. Molder of Minds, Dr. Mom. I am Dr. Messina Morris. You can find me at unitethemetaverse.com or at my Metaversity online, www.school.com/one Metaversity. Talk to you soon. Take care.